Hello everybody! How the heck's it going? This is the Tarot Show. On this particular internet channel I do tarot readings for free. That's right, free, as in no cost whatsoever to you, no financial cost, no money shelled out, but this is the only place on the whole internet, okay, the whole internet, where I will give away a free tarot reading to you. The way that you can do that is that you submit to me via the email address nickdutchtarot@gmail.com what your request is. Ideally include your first name and your date of birth, and I'll be happy to add you to the rota. Basically, once a week, roughly speaking, you know, I just sit down here with my camera going, lights blazing in my face, and I do a reading for you. That's all it is, okay? Today we're recording this show on the day of Pentecost, funnily enough. And Pentecost is the 50th day after Passover in the Jewish calendar, so also is supposed to be, and is a celebration of the very first fruits of the harvest. And this is of course coming through right at the end of May, just before June has come in and done its thing. So that's essentially a bit of basic background. Of course, in biblical mythology, this is the time when the Holy Spirit is supposed to have come on the people. Everyone started talking in tongues and everything got really rather weird and prophetic. So let's see if we can be all weird and prophetic for you guys today as we get on with the first readings of today. Here we go. Okay, Heather is curious about her career and wants to basically make sure things are going to go according to plan, I guess. So let's have a quick look and see basically what's coming through. Standard chronological spread, naming about 6 cards in an arc-like pattern. Okay, Heather, this is not looking too bad for you. Let's just have a quick look and show you the cards, and so you can see basically what I'm seeing, and then you can start to think, oh, wow, isn't it exciting? Which is, I'm sure, what you're going to do when you see what we've got here for you. Right, this is the spread. These are the cards laid out in sequence, starting off in the time of difficulty, a feeling of interference, being held back, followed by a sense of, you know, a bit of singularity and focus, and you're not getting concerned with too many different things, trying to work out precisely which way you want to go. That's a time of choice, of priorities, coming for you within about 2 to 3 months of the outside, okay? Then after that, very strong signs of financial stability appearing. So the effort is not a question of like doing thousands of different applications in different directions. It's more a question of choosing one particular direction that you now know you're good at. The darker signs here, they have a Saturnian appeal, which in this particular case refers to learning and getting more knowledge together. You get more knowledge together, you reflect upon that, you make an intelligent decision, and that then leads to your financial stability. So it's all very you-centered. But once you're there, there's going to be a feeling of being held back. So you get stability, you don't get success and achievement. You know, that's not like the 9 or 10 of cups, okay? It's not the 10 of coins, it's the 4. And the 4 means all your basic needs are being met, which is of course good enough during the short-term future. But then it's your basic needs being met, but not precisely where you want to go. So you're going to feel bad about that, ironically. You're going to feel bad about that first, prior to a sense of healing your state of mind associated with your work and developing some very real gratitude, and then a sense of dynamic energy and really starting to take your career further forward, probably by the end of this year, beginning of next year, which basically means it's feeling comparatively happy. Okay, we are going through different stages of growth and different stages of stability and success as you move further forward with your career. That's the way it's coming through. Saturnian learning, choices, action, stability. That's your first priority. Make sure your bases are covered. And then frustration, healing the thing which is making you feel frustrated, and then being able to put extra energy into it. So try your hardest not to get frustrated when that time comes. And that will allow the healing power to start really taking its effect. Okay, that really was quite interesting. It really shows the progression of the way that, you know, you're going to go intellectually when you're approaching the subject of your work itself and the various changes you're going to go through. Okay, Jennifer is interested in the feelings that Fraser and Michael have for her. Let's have a quick look and see basically what the reading says here. Bear with me a second, please. Okay, 2 for Fraser, 2 for Michael. That's basically the way that we're going to go today, okay? So, here we go. Firstly, we got the signs on Fraser's side of the reading, which is essentially quite interesting, okay? There is a sense of there being some kind of passion. I feel that's very much in the background. I feel he gets a bit distracted. Maybe he's working a bit too much on his work, okay? So essentially that's going to get in the way. But there is a bit of feeling of a potential for victory there. The Chariot card came out when I dealt it out as being upside down, basically, which means that you're not going to get the progression that you want straight away, but there is a feeling of there being some kind of interest there. It's well worth trying to communicate with this character in whatever way you can. Now with Michael on the other hand, you know, the energy there is basically a little different. We got a sense that Michael isn't feeling very happy about himself at the moment, which means that something is getting in the way. He's got every reason to feel happy about himself, okay, but there's just this feeling of not quite, you know, not quite being there. Maybe he's under pressure. Maybe people want him to do things he doesn't want to do. Maybe he wants a greater feeling of freedom, okay, and essentially that's something which might actually possibly hold him back. So be aware that you're dealing with characters who've got things to try and sort out in their lives prior to being able to get some real progress forward. Okay, now we've got Lauren, who wants to know when she's going to meet someone special. So here we go. Still shuffling like crazy. When you can't see my hands, I'm shuffling the cards like crazy, basically, just to try and make sure we got the randomness going. Okay, and an older deck needs a lot more shuffling to try and make sure it's all, you know, working out according to plan. And I've been using this one consistently for years and years and years. Tons of accumulated wisdom, you know, sort of like sitting there within the cards themselves. At least that's what some people would say. Okay, right. I'll show you the cards again so you get a feeling of how the progression is going to go. Okay, it's another chronological spread because you asked when, didn't you? Okay, it's not a question of if, it's more a question of when. If you just change the words you use ever so slightly, you know, that can change the way in which I'm doing things, taking into account what I'm feeling from you, basically. Alright, here we go. Okay, quite happy, quite happy. Again, there's a sense of there being something really romantic coming for you. There is some bad news though, and that it's not coming for you straight away or yet. I would be much happier if we had the moon card and all the cup signs coming at the beginning part of the reading. But I feel that, you know, you're going through the period of appraising yourself, your own relationship past, working out what you want to achieve in terms of relationships, okay? So that when it does finally happen, you're going to be in the right position, you're going to be truly ready. And what's this hiding behind this card here? Oh, there we go, there we go. Nice healthy cup signs there going along and not contrasting with, but working in cooperation with the moon card, providing you with that extra reminder that love is on the outside. Maybe it's suggesting that you yourself can actually be quite strong and proactive when it comes to the subject of relationships, because after all it is the Queen of Cups which is coming through, and therefore it's reflecting your energy rather than your potential partner's energy. So bear that in mind too. But it does appear like it's going to be happening for you, and I feel they'll be quite supportive for you during some difficult times further on down the line. So this year definitely late summer, early autumn or fall time, so we're talking about September, October, November at the outside. I give pessimistic time frames, not precise ones, okay, but that's essentially the way it's looking. So good luck for that, and of course name the first 500 kids after me. Well, there we go, plenty of excitement there. On with the next one. Okay, someone who identifies themselves as Mama's Sad wants to know about her children and wants to see whether they're, you know, thinking about her and essentially what the thoughts and feelings are there. Okay, well, let's have a quick look. Obviously, I'm still doing my traditional shuffling like a lunatic thing, okay, just to make sure we can get a nice spread for you. Now, just try and pick up the energies associated with these young people and try and do them all as one big group, because obviously the issue is they didn't write to you on Mother's Day. It's making you feel bad. So essentially they're all, you know, we'll try and treat them all as one particular unit here. Let's have a quick look. They don't hate you. There is a lot of love there. There's a good feeling of supportiveness, but essentially they don't quite know how to act or how to act appropriately. I don't feel there's any extra meaning associated with the fact that they didn't actually write to you or send you flowers or send you a card on Mother's Day. I just don't feel that whatsoever. These are individuals who are trying their hardest to make you proud of them, okay? Not because they're just being nice to you, but because they're doing what's right on a regular basis for their own survival and long-term future. That's what the main message here. It's all very fire-orientated with a touch of a hint of water energy at the end there. I don't know whether you noticed that. With a sense of trying to achieve miracles in a very difficult situation. Which one of them is trying to do that? Who's had the most difficult situation out of all the kids? Which one's had a really, really difficult, trying time? Well, what they're doing is they're trying to get over something big which has held them back big time so that you can be proud of them. I'm getting a mental picture of them coming to you with a bottle of champagne at some point in the future, and I think you'll be very pleasantly surprised. Now, what else have we got there? One of them is being rather steadfast and strong, who's currently in difficult times at the moment, but is still trying to achieve for themselves, okay? And there's a feeling of one particular energy who's very empathic towards you, but isn't quite sure that they can connect with you at the moment, due to some basic growing up issues. So there's nothing to do with, oh my god, that they hate you or whatever. That's not coming through at all. It's much more to do with them trying to deal with issues and trying to go through the growth that's required so they can actually be helpful to each other and they can be helpful to you in the future. Okay, real supportiveness long term. That's essentially the main energy that I've got here associated with this particular reading. It's not about today, and what you can't do is build your model of all the rest of the world based purely upon one day. I mean, that would be like someone who's so fascinated with trying to get their wedding day done perfectly that they're forgetting about what the marriage really means and trying to make sure all the rest of the life goes well according to plan, if you get my drift. So try and think about things in practical terms rather than in terms of how you feel because you feel hurt because they haven't written to you, okay? Think practically, and you need to extend love to them so that, they will essentially react positively towards you. Alright? That's the way that I see it here, basically. It's not looking all that unpleasant or undesirable. It's much more to do with them trying to achieve things to make you especially proud of them in a not too distant future. Alright, now Kim wants to know about a certain Virgo chap. Right, well Kim, let's have a quick look and see basically what's coming through. Thank you very much for sending the message through. You explained it very nice and clearly, and thanks for all your date of birth details as well. That makes it much easier for me to just, pinpoint home in there. Also, so the understanding goes. Right, 8-card relationship reading. First one of those we've had in this one particular tarot show. We've been going much more chronological, haven't we? And also more to do with like groups of people and stuff. We haven't really been doing the 8-card relationship reading. Always good to have a change. So here we go, here we go, here we go. But your question is, can I see a really, really good, like long-term, proper, perfect future there for both of you? Well, it's not looking bad. It's not looking bad at all. The whole energy between yourself and this individual is out of being bound together. This is the High Priestess card. It's literally coming through in that middle position. You know the way that the 8-card relationship reading works. 2 for you, 2 for your partner, okay? 1 for the force between the two of you defining the relationship, and then a further 3 for short-term, mid-term and long-term future. That's the structure. So essentially the card for the force between the two of you is the High Priestess. Connection, empathy, sympathy, a spiritual connection, a sense of understanding the hidden details about each other and trying to bring your life with this person further forward to fruition because you feel the emotional connection, he feels it as well, and he wants something to occur. Now on his side of things, desire for some kind of change, so it's going to be like a slowly developing gradual change and progression in the way in which he's going to be talking to you and communicating with you to bring about something really, really good in the longer term future. That's the way I see it, that's the way I feel it. I feel he's concerned about his financial stability in the longer term, so that's going to be something weighing on his mind just a little basically, so don't worry too much about that. He's going to go through his own growth in his own way, but you need to still be proactive so that he will be able to get the confidence to then take the leading role which he needs to have, essentially. Your side of things, this is your hopes and your dreams and your aspirations. Ace of Cups, you want that perfect love. You feel that he can actually start fulfilling that. You're seeing him as someone who could be a really stable factor in your life. You're looking for the long-term relationship connection. We've got signs relating to continuity and stability in terms of the way in which you're seeing him, so that's good. So you're feeling connected. You see him as a stable individual. He wants to change, but he's worried about like the career and financial future and how that's going to affect the relationship. But essentially, I don't feel he needs to worry too much about that. And I'm just going to have a quick look, short-term, mid-term, long-term, to see what kind of like thoughts, feelings, moods, energies, and all the rest of that's going to appear. Okay, very nice, very nice. It looks like a very good type of like domestic situation between you and him, basically. Long-term future signs. The Princess of Discs is very much a hearth and home character, okay? That doesn't mean to say he's putting you down to just like doing the dishes or whatever, but that means that he respects the home life, he respects the family life, and that's going to start happening for you on the basis that you choose this relationship. Some people say to me, will I marry this person? Well, you've got choices to make along the way, okay? Don't forget that. But as far as getting there is concerned, communication, peace and balance and tranquility, maybe a little, going through hot and cold basically during the next 3-month period followed by moving on to something a little more, you know, passionate, loving, open, that kind of like, yes, it's a wonderful feeling, and then moving on to that kind of like consistency and stability aspect, which I think is what you've been looking for basically all this time. You've got you've got all to play for there, but I wouldn't rule out you being proactive towards him as well. I don't think he's necessarily quite as good as you'd like him to be on the subtleties. Okay, someone like me, wonderful with subtleties. Someone like him, I think he struggles with a few of them. So try and work with him, try and build up his own confidence, so he can then think, oh right, okay, it can happen. Okay. Okay, someone called Brittany's got a rather interesting question. You know, the relationship was going wonderfully, and all of a sudden someone new comes in. Okay, what to do then? I can't really make up your mind there. I really can't. I think that would be inappropriate if I did. What I will do is I'll read upon your existing relationship, and I'll have a look at this other individual as well and see basically what's coming through there. You know, as I often say, one step at a time, and so on and so forth. Here we go. One step at a time. 2 for you, 2 for him. This is your, your existing relationship, or the one you might consider to be the previous relationship. Okay. Alright, great character, very loving but slow progress, very slow, weighty, treacly type colours there, okay? But on the other hand, it's still a very strong and loving message associated with it, very strong Venusuvial colours, colours of the heart. He loves you, but he can't do anything, anything extra, because he doesn't want to push you away. There's a desire for something of an experimental nature, but he doesn't want to go, scary and weird on you, okay? I'll show you the whole spread. There we go. That's your short-term, mid-term, long-term future. That's basically what's going to happen further on down the line. Lovely signs of passion with the existing individual. Okay, now on his side of things, power, passion, quite down to earth, but I would say something of a bit of a technical character, so he can be a bit nerdy and geeky at times, okay? That's the way it's coming through. He's not always like that, but it's another part of his character. But I'm also getting a feeling of him being someone who wants to be entertaining and jovial and jolly, but he also struggles with that because he's still got a few more skills to develop. That's basically what him in a nutshell, you know what I mean? Forces between the two of you, as I mentioned before. Now, the good thing is this card's upside down, okay? This is the good old-fashioned 7 of Cups, which basically talks about love but slow progress, okay? That's why all the signs there are like dripping with treacle, slow, slimy, moving slowly, basically, but still very loving. On your side of things, you're starting to feel a bit of failure associated with this individual, but you've got no need to, you see? You've got no need to, because you've still got a lot of great attributes there. So you've got to ask yourself, why is it that you've been doubting him, rather than what has he been doing wrong? Okay, why have you been doubting him, not what has he been doing wrong? So, moving further forward, short term, mid term, long term, there's still warmth there. The Sun card can be joyful, but it can also be just warm. And warm is nice though, isn't it? So the question is, are you trying... this is interesting, isn't it? I think that this could be an issue of a soulmate disease problem. Alright? Do you find that this new individual, suddenly gives you that joyful feeling? Alright? But yet you wanted to lose the stability and strength you've currently got. So you're losing the opportunity to have a life partner connection, so you can have a short-term future connection that feels wonderful in the short term. That wonderful feeling we get when we start a relationship, it always comes to an end. With everyone. There's always a point when it comes to an end. But that's a good thing. Because when that happens, then you're moving from a soulmate connection, which is just the basic instinct we've been given to start the relationship in the first place, for biological purposes, if you get my drift without me being too graphic. Okay? So it's an instinct given to us by God, so we do these things. But then afterwards, you've got to be the grown-up, you've got to be the evolved human being, okay? And you've got to start doing what's right to try and maintain the bond. And that's why in our society today we've got things such as museums, art galleries. Some people are truly genuinely interested in art, but to the most part people are doing these things, they've got something else to discuss within their relationships, because the conversation always runs dry. In each and every single case the conversation will run dry. That's a promise. And so what you do is you work at it, you make it happen, you make the relationship bond occur, and then you end up moving into a new and a better quality of love. Alright? Which comes out of hard work, not by instinct. But you can make it happen. You really can make it happen. So I'm basically asking you to question whether this new individual that's come into your life is really the one for you. And I think what I'll do is not do a spread on that person, because I think you've got to make up your mind as to what you really want. Do you want a life partner connection, or do you just want a whole series of short-term future relationships that will just come to an end, and eventually you'll be old and single? Anyway, that's the way as I see it. Those are all the readings we're going to be doing for today. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, favourite, share, and all the rest of that kind of cool stuff. There's lots of buttons all over the internet which you can use to, copy and paste this link and put it on blogs and Facebook and MySpace. And do people use MySpace anymore? Does anybody use MySpace anymore? If you use MySpace, leave a comment. Basically, that would be quite interesting, just to see how many of my viewers do still use MySpace. Because I haven't gone into that for about a year and a half, basically. I had a crap profile up there and just didn't really do anything with it, to be honest. Played a few fun vampire games, but stopped after that. Anyway, that's enough of my rambling. If you want to request a reading, don't forget the place to do it is email. Not in the comment section, no. Not via private message to this one particular channel, no. Via email to nickdutchtarot@gmail.com. Yes, I can even say it in a manner which sounds victorious. Never mind. Well, I will look forward to your requests. You look forward to the next tarot show. Stay subscribed, rate, comment, favourite, share, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon. Don't forget that legally speaking, a tarot reading, a psychic reading, medium mystical reading, and all the rest of those things are regarded as being an entertainment service for good common sense reasons, because you are still the architect of your life, not me, not any other reader out there, not any other religious person, non-religious person, family member. You, just you. It always has been up to you, it always will be up to you, because you are the man and or woman in charge of your life, the director of the movie of your life, the producer, the editor, the cameraman, everything. Okay, so enjoy the journey.